Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Milk and Screams with two idiots. I'm one of them, and this is Kyle.
Who said we were idiots?
I did, and I am the all-authority figure in this space. So just roll with it.
I don't roll, Kyle.
Walk with it. I'm Kyle, idiot number 1, and you are?
I forgot my name.
That's Jacob, idiot number 2. We got to double digits. This is the 10th episode.
I thought this was the 100th episode.
No, that would be triple digits. So we just hit double. Actually, we have a long way to go before 100. Would have to be doing this for like 2 years to hit 100 with the once a week system that we got going on. Maybe we should just start releasing daily so we can just hit 100 faster and just crank out some garbage content just to say that we got to 100 episodes.
Or we can just keep doing what we're doing.
Okay.
Let's just skip a few numbers. People won't notice. This is episode 33.
Come back next week for episode 837. We got something to talk about that Jacob and I disagree pretty tartly on. We'll leave it at that because you've seen the title of this. We disagree pretty tartly on it. But before we get into that, we got to talk about kind of what's been going on this week. So we're recording this on Friday, January 29th, which is the end of the week of all of the GameStop AMC stock mayhem.
The stock bonanza.
It's been quite an interesting ride, to say the least. One that I am a part of.
Yeah, there's a couple reasons why I have not been a part of this. Number one of them, and the most important being, I am broke. I don't have any money to invest. I hope to soon. I hope I'll get some money when tax season comes in, and maybe I can start investing then. But another reason was because I just really didn't understand it, which is kind of cool because since it's become way more mainstream and way more, a part of like the internet culture, to be a part of the stock market, I now know a little bit more about it, which is giving me a little more confidence.
Right. And I got in about a year ago, kind of once all the COVID stuff happened, because, there were these companies making vaccines and their stock was going up, and that's how a couple people I knew were kind of just making a little extra money. I never made any extra money with any of that stuff, but that's when I kind of started getting into stocks just in general. And then this past week happened, and I was not. Can we
explain to people who may not be in the know at all?
So basically, what's going on right now is there's this Reddit thread called Wall Street Bets, and a lot of them got together because they knew that there was this hedge fund that was banking on GameStop stock to be dropping, because what a lot of higher up, richer people will do is this thing called short selling, or basically, like, if you're anything like us, like a normal person in the stocks, you put money in a stock, you want that stock to go up because that means you're making money off that stock.
Mm-hmm.
These people are the opposite. So they buy a stock and then immediately sell it to somebody for that same price, right? Hoping that the stock will go down so that when they have to buy it back, then they've made money. So this $7 example has been floating around. So say I bought and sold a stock immediately for $10. That was the price I bought and sold it at. That stock dropped to $7. And then so that person sold it back to me. I've now made $3.
Yeah.
Or I had to buy it back from that person, rather. Yeah. I've made $3. Whereas if the stock went up, I'm losing money. So these hedge funds are people that are hoping GameStop stock. It's so hard to say because the GameStop stock.
The GameStop stock.
They want it to drop. So this Reddit thread was
like, the GameStop stopped to drop.
This Reddit thread said, you know what?
That was super sick, by the way. You blew right over it, but that was super sick.
Because it was super unsick. I just wanted to completely ignore it.
That was not unsick. That was totally sick. You're smiling because you know it was sick. So don't even go there.
I'm just surprised that we're still talking about it.
I'm surprised that you're not like running around right now. Like how crazy.
How come when I say that people are running around screaming? So these people on Reddit, they thought, you know what? Screw those people that just make money off of companies starting to fail. We're all going to just throw our money at GameStop and just try and make the stock just increase insane amount. So this stock started at like $4 at the beginning of this week.
Probably less than that.
It was something around $4. Most stocks of these kind of established brands kind of hover around that range. Once they start kind of deteriorating after some amount of time. So these people threw their money at it, and then it kind of jumped from $4 to $20. And you know that's a big jump. You know, that's a whatever the heck that is, 400%, 500% increase, something like that. And so everyone was like, okay, that was pretty good. Now let's do more. So then more people got on this train and started throwing their money at it.
This is where meme culture kind of came and just poured gasoline on it.
Meme culture came in and said, guys,
GameStop
of all companies is starting to go up in stock. Buy now. And I'm sure a lot of people were like, haha, $20 for the memes. I'm going to post this picture. It's going to be funny because I put money at a dead company. But so many people, and especially these people on Reddit, again, because this Reddit thread is a lot of people that know the stock market and know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So like you can go on there and read about about a lot of these people that are going, just bought 2,000 shares. Let's ride this to the moon. Diamond hands, you know, all the crap that they're saying on the Reddit thread. And specifically for GameStop.
GameStop stock.
I can't do it, dude. Specifically for GameStop
stock,
it shot up.
The GameStop stock,
dude, it's impossible.
GameStop stock shot up.
I'm gonna stop trying.
The GameStop stock.
And
shot
now,
up.
right as of this recording, let me actually just look right now. This is Friday at approximately 3 p.m. It's sitting at $284. Now, yesterday or maybe
like
2 days ago, it had a spike of like 420.
420. Wow.
Yeah, it's gone to the 400s, and then it goes back down, and then in the after hours, it kind of jumps back into the 300 range or whatever. So the GameStop stuff has just been insane, and like a lot of people bought a lot of shares when it was $4. So then when it hit 400 something, if they sold, then they just made 100 times the amount of money that they put in.
Yep.
Which is insane. Because say you bought 10 shares of it when it was $4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it jumped. Let's just say for the sake of easy math, it jumped to $404, right? So then you would have made $400 for one share. But you bought 10 shares. So you put $40 in because you bought 10 shares. And if you sold at $404, you made $4,000.
That's easy money.
That's if you had bought 10 shares when it was $4 and you sold when it kind of hit the 400-ish range.
Yeah.
And some of these people, because it was $4, and people that, you know, have jobs and have a couple $1,000s that they're like, okay, I'm going to risk it. Right? Some of these people bought 2,000 shares when it was $4.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these people sold it when it hit that 420, because they're not wanting people to sell right now because they want to really stick it to these hedge funds and all that. But a lot of people have because they want that money and need that money. I mean,
understandably so.
Yeah, 100%. So,
like to put it in perspective, right? I make roughly $13 an hour, like $13.50. For me to make $4,000, like it's like almost 2 months' salary. Whatever. My 2 months of my wages, 40 hours a week when you don't count taxes. That's 2 months. They made that in a day.
Yeah.
So like I don't like people who are like, there are some people who are like criticizing people who sold because of the greediness or whatever.
Right,
I
because
would totally do it.
We want to stick it to the man, but
they still are.
Right, and a lot of them still are, yes. But say I'm a person, say I'm in my late 20s, early 30s, whatever. I have a job and I kind of have an established income. And I see this happening at $4. So I say, you know what? I'm going to take the risk. And I bought 1,000 shares at $4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I sold when it was $404. Then I bought 1,000 shares. If I sold there, I just made $400,000 in 2 days.
That's so nuts.
So honestly, for me at that point, even if it jumps higher, I can look at it and be like, oh man, I sold early, it jumped higher. But also, I did just get $400,000, which whatever my job is, even if mechanical engineering, let's say I was making $80K a year, that's 5 years worth of money in 2 days from GameStop. That's the big kicker, because it's a hedge fund that is trying to make money off a dying company, and said everybody was like, you know what? Easy, we got this.
Yeah, and I think this is a testimony, because a lot of people don't understand the implications of like Robinhood, which is the trading company that a lot of people are using right now, which is
myself included.
The reason why people were so upset that they said, "Hey, you can't, buy these stocks anymore." At least for a day. I think now they're you're fully available to buy.
Not fully, but today you can buy shares of it. Because typically what happens is you can buy portions of shares of stock. But today with these ones like Nokia, BlackBerry, AMC, you can only buy the full share.
Gotcha.
So right now, if you wanted to buy some stock into GameStop at $260 or whatever I just said,
you can't buy like a quarter of that.
You couldn't be like, I'm going to put $50 at GameStop. So when it jumps up 300%, I'll just make $200. You have to buy the full share.
So a lot of people were upset because it's very obviously them trying to cater to the hedge funds that probably, in some way, shape, or form fund that company. But the funny thing is, the irony is, the whole point of Robinhood, their whole mission statement or whatever is, let the people share.
Democratize the stock market.
And that's their whole thing. So it turns out, it's a whole big sham. A lot of people dropped Robinhood and just said no more. A lot of big YouTubers use them for sponsorships. You see their like ads all over TikTok and stuff like that. A lot of people are dropping them, and like people convinced Redditors to give them like a 1-star review. It was like over 100,000 1-star reviews on like the app stores.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, I plan on dropping them, but
we just kind of, it's hard to, because I was telling Kyle this, from what I understand, what very little I understand about the stock market, even like 5 or 6 years ago, if you wanted to invest in the stock market, you had to give this person, your stockbroker, like all your banking information. You had to trust them to, with your money, and you had to like consult them whenever you wanted to invest in a stock. And you would be on the phone with them if it was the 90s. If it was the early 2000s, you might be able to email them or text them. But there was no like now it's so simple, and it's because of the internet, it's so easy to just like, invest and make this so much more, for lack of a better word, volatile. Like it's so crazy and unpredictable. And when you have, a couple 100,000 people pouring money into these stocks, it is impossible to predict what happens next, which is probably why Robinhood and the hedge fund people got like super scared.
Yeah.
They were like, we're about to lose everything. And the memes are just so funny. Oh, they're so good. Like the, basically like almost a year later, Animal Crossing, the Animal Crossing memes are so funny because if you don't know, there's a version of the stock market in Animal Crossing where basically you buy turnips. Once a week you buy turnips from this person, and she'll give it to you from like a range of 90 to 100 bells. You can buy a bundle of 10 turnips. So some people have a plethora of money on Animal Crossing, whatever the version of the money is. So they buy like 10,000 bags of turnips, and then throughout the week you can sell them at like the shop for varying prices, and people will use like websites and algorithms to predict what price they'll be. So sometimes they'll be like 80 bells a piece, which means you've lost a ton of money, and sometimes they'll be 600 bells for each
which if you don't
bag.
Play the game, that's very good.
Yeah, exactly. It's very good. Some people make like millions and millions of bells. So once people and the memes are all, of course, like once you've learned the stock market, then you go to the stock market and do the exact same thing.
One of my favorite ones I've seen, the meme where that's the little dog kind of sad, and then the big buff dog. It's people in the 1920s. Wow, the stock market crashed. I will kill myself and my wife. And then people in 2020s, I will crash the stock market on purpose for fun.
So why are we talking about this? The reason I think because we kind of argued a little bit like whether we should talk about this, and like today we're like, yeah, we're going to talk about it because now you're directly a part of it, and I definitely want to be a part of it.
I am directly a part of it because I've been watching the GameStop one specifically today, and it's been dropping, which kind of everyone has been expecting to happen at the end of the week, because they're doing some shenanigans at the higher up to try and make this stock drop, to try and scare more people to selling, so that way it continues to drop and they can start trying to make money back. That's why you see all the memes of hold the line and, diamond hands, because don't drop, don't sell, don't bail out, whatever, stick it to the man. So I bought in just a little bit ago when it hit that kind of 260 mark, because I kind of assumed that this is about the lowest it's going to go. And towards the end of the day, it'll probably pick up. Beginning of next week, it'll probably pick up. And in the after hours over the weekend, when the stock market is quote unquote closed, it'll probably rise a lot in the after hours. So if nothing, I'll make a little on that. I did some stuff with Nokia and AMC just to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm here for a good time.
It's now become an everyman's game, and we were all kind of young to remember this, but in 2008, when like the Occupy Wall Street, movement happened, when people were like walking into the exchange, what is it called? The big building. It's called the Stock Exchange. Or
whatever. The Stock Exchange.
They literally, there's pictures of like billionaires like holding martinis and just literally laughing at them, and this is our like the little guy's chance to be the quote unquote Robin Hood, ironically, to steal from people who have ruined the economy several times with their little games, with their casinos, because essentially what this is a casino.
That's basically what the stock market is.
Yeah.
It's a casino.
So it's super interesting, and it's exciting now that everyone can play a part in it.
And it's crazy because, I was talking about people that maybe bought 1,000 shares and made hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? But even like my little brother, for instance, he texted us and he said, yeah, I got on it early. TikTok prepared me, because he had heard it on TikTok somewhere.
Yeah.
So he bought, I think he said 3 shares when it was $20. And then he sold when it hit like the high 300s or like that early 400 mark.
Yeah.
So he had 3 shares and he just made $1,000.
That's super sweet.
Or close to it.
Good for you, Aaron.
Literally just putting in $60 because he just kind of had it and he got in early. So even if you weren't one of the people that bought a ton of shares, if you got in early enough and just bought some, then you made a decent amount of money. At least for people our age, like getting $1,000 in a day is pretty good.
$1,000 is insane. It's a game changer.
Also, does it boggle your mind that in 2008 we were just 10-year-olds walking around having no idea that the world was crumbling around us?
Yeah, I often think about how even where we were at that time, we were both at Life Point when they were about to undergo they had already undergone this huge construction to the church.
Right, yeah, that's about when that was happening.
And then the stock market just decided to crash.
Yeah.
And this huge housing crisis happened. Like my dad, I remember it was around that time when he sold his motorcycle because we just needed to pay bills.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember having any inclination that things were going wrong because I was 10 years old. An adult wasn't going to sit down and have a conversation with me about the stock market and how it crumbled and how we have to refinance the mortgage on our house or whatever. I didn't know. I was just playing outside.
Dude, we were we didn't walk in food lines or anything like that. It wasn't nearly that bad for us, I guess, in Florida, but probably in bigger cities, it probably got really bad. We had to go to food banks and stuff like that. But it got pretty nasty. That was 12 years ago, and it could probably happen again. Actually, it kind of did happen last year too. We had a mini recession because of the virus. So that stuff really interests me, and I know you too. So I wanted to just bring it up and just kind of throw in a little 2 cents. I think
it's been very interesting to watch. I think the interesting part will most likely die by the end of next week. The most interesting part is going to be the end of today in a couple hours when the market closes, and beginning of next week when it reopens. That's kind of going to be the most interesting part of all this, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But
so
enough about politics.
That's almost nothing to do with politics. Enough about economics. We are going to talk about animals to the end of the podcast. I have a feeling we might dwell into some rabbit holes, no pun intended, because we this is a very nebulous topic that we've kind of talked about a couple of times, but we might keep going into some different territory. I don't know. I want to kind of go there. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll start with the fact that you have recently had a change of heart.
Yes.
In the scope of favoritism.
Okay. Let me start this off with a little bit of a dive into my brain as a child.
Oh, okay.
Everyone has a favorite animal when they're a kid. Everyone. I never could pick one. I never like had a singular like favorite animal that everyone was like, my favorite animal is a giraffe. And I was like, I don't know what mine is. For a while, I just said polar bear because that was one that many people weren't saying, and I wanted to be different.
Of course.
And polar bears are very cool. I ended up doing like research on polar bears when I was a kid, and you know they're cool animals and they live in a really cool place. So like that is still kind of true. Like it's kind of like been my favorite animal for a while. Red pandas kind of held that spot because they're super cute.
Polar bears are one of those animals that are cute and at the same time terrifying.
Oh yeah, they're horrifying.
Just as you inch closer and closer to a polar bear, it becomes more and more terrifying.
They're like 11 feet tall when they stand on their hind legs. Like it's like, how do you get that big?
It's
like,
insane.
And why are you on the bottom of the world? like what? Why are you down there? Come up here. It's like warmer.
Do polar bears also occupy the North Pole?
I think they're only South Pole. I think very few things live in the North Pole. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know for sure.
Neither do I.
It's been probably a decade and a half since I've done like research on polar bears. So.
I was gonna say you did all this research and you can't answer me questions that I have.
I'm sorry. Red pandas, adorable, super super cute animals. Like
very cute.
Like I remember reading little books about them in elementary school and like looking at them and just gawking about how cute they were.
I don't actually think I knew what a red panda was until I watched Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, really?
Master Shifu's a red panda.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know that there were different kinds of pandas. I just knew panda.
Pandas are cool. But my new favorite animal has come very recently, probably like a week and a half ago. I just had this realization out of nowhere. This is my absolute favorite animal. It's got this perfect blend of like cuteness and meme-ness and like super funny animal, and it's got like a little cult following on the internet with like cute videos and like funny videos of these animals interacting with like humans. And they also have like this dog quality that I really like. It's seals. I love seals. They're so adorable. I can't get enough of watching just like little seal videos on the internet where they like just hop around on their belly and like scoot along. Like there's just a YouTube channel I follow now where I think it's just called Cute Seals, but it's like this aquarium in Japan and they have like several little seals. And I think one of them is name is like Hirio. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm probably butchering that a lot, but they do this thing with him where like they can like put a finger on his nose and he'll just squish, like he'll like recline his head into his body like a little turtle and it'll just become like a blob. Like how do their bones work?
I was gonna say, do they have what is it that's inside of their quote unquote neck? Because there's not
they don't have a neck.
There's no differentiation between like, you know, torso, neck to face. It's all just kind of a
uniform like pear shape, and it's perfect. Like they're just perfect. I want to hug one. Like, and they can also have like there's different breeds that can have like a vicious side of them. Like they eat penguins. And then of course like there's the big old like elephant seals that have the tusk that like just lay on the beach and they just fart all day.
Those are the best ones.
Those are the cool ones. I really like the little like leopard seals that like, you know, often are in like aquariums like the Gulfarium, or they have sea lions at the Gulfarium.
I was just about to ask, what's the difference between a seal and a sea lion? What is it that makes them different?
I remember going to the Gulfarium and getting this question answered for me. So basically, sea lions have a little more, they just been like through evolution, they just kind of have more ability to walk on their fins, and they're much bigger normally. Seals don't normally walk; they kind of just hop on their bellies.
They do the cute little scootin' boot.
Scootin' boot. I think their diets are different too. And like just the way that they sit normally is just very different.
Okay.
Sea lions, like they can like arch their back a little bit, and sea lions are normally the ones that go like that's a sea lion. Seals are like they just lay on their stomach.
Do they make a noise?
They kind of like roar. They go like that. Like that's literally. Or they Like they like, you know how animals do like the thing that they go like, ha, like. It's not. I'm just telling you the truth. That's what they do. They go like, ha! Like, okay, you guys think I'm stupid, but this I'm geeking out right now. This is my favorite animal.
I just wish you guys could have seen his faces when he made those noises. His eyebrows were like up to his hairline, trying to make the facial expression.
Okay, after the podcast, I'm going to show you videos of seals screaming, and you'll understand. Off topic. Have you ever heard a deer scream?
Yes, I've seen those videos.
Horrifying.
Those are hilarious.
They just like get their head like all the way back, like around their, like they basically break their neck and they just scream at the top of their lungs. It's so funny. Anyways, do yourself a favor this week. Watch some videos of seals doing cute shit. It is the best. Like, if you're sad, if you're like in the deepest pits of depression, I guarantee you, a seal is waiting for you.
Oh, I think Jacob's 100% right about this.
They're so cute.
Any videos of these seals doing their little scoot movement, I'm literally bouncing in my seat, replicating the scooting. Any one of those,
so funny,
or any of the close up, because like when it's a good quality camera and the close up of them, because they have really big, really pretty eyes too. So like a good close up of a seal, they're real cute. And I agree with Jacob. It'll get you out of a little slump. I know people love dog videos,
make
but
you smile.
You've seen a lot of dog videos, and some of them are kind of predictable to you. Watch a seal video.
These are underwater dogs. Like they're just like underwater little dogs, and they just go oh like. They do that. I mean, I'm sorry for any headphone listeners. I probably just like ruined your headphones. We may have to do like some audio magic.
Absolutely not. I'm not going through this for all these 19 screams you've done. That's too much work.
So seals. Kyle, I think I may have asked you already, but I forgot. What's your favorite animal?
Here's the thing. My favorite animal has pretty much always been a tiger. I don't know when I picked that. I think I was very young because I have this white tiger stuffed animal that's maybe a foot long. It's a tiny stuffed animal. Mm-hmm. It's back home somewhere. I don't know where it is now, but it just kind of sat on my bed legitimately into my high school years. I didn't pay really any attention to it at that point, but I never moved it. It was just kind of always on my bed. But I don't know when I picked tiger. I don't even remember when I got that thing. I probably got it when I was an infant or a toddler, and it just kind of was always there. I do love tigers, but for many years now, there has been this animal that's really wanted to overtake the spot, and it hasn't because I haven't watched any cute videos of them. I don't think they exist because this animal is an octopus.
Octopus.
I think they are so interesting.
They are. Both of us chose sea animals.
Well, sea animals are cooler.
They are. I mean, well, they can be cooler. I think reptiles are underappreciated. Like, I think people who like geckos are really cool. Like different people. Like I have a thing with like reptiles, but. Yeah, he chose octopus. Octopus is a very much sea animal.
Well, they have two very, very cool features to me. And I forget what they're called. I think they're called chemoreceptors, but that doesn't sound right. It's something to do with the fact that they can camouflage themselves based off the cells that are on their skin and the way that they receive light. They can camouflage themselves to the exact color tone of whatever is around them. So it's legitimately impossible to see them until they move. It's the exact tone.
Cool.
That's cool. And then cool thing B is they have this beak inside of them. I don't think they call it a gizzard in an octopus, but they have this beak in the center of their bodies where they use it to kind of crush hard foods, stuff like that. But also, an octopus can shrink itself to the diameter of that beak. So say this beak is 3 inches in diameter or something, or maybe 2 inches in diameter, pretty small. But, octopus head can get really, big and kind of wide, and it's got, these long 8 legs. it can squeeze its entire body to that 2 inches in diameter. So if there was like the zoology professor I had at Northwest, she has this story because she was a big octopus lover. She has a story about when she worked in some aquarium and they were working with an octopus, and they came back the next day and the octopus was gone. And they had no idea where this thing could have gone because it's literally just a big pool of water with no holes, except for this fairly small PVC pipe that ran into the water, I think for the sake of just keeping it regulated with whatever nutrients that needed to be in the water. Right. And the PVC pipe ran a good, I forget what she said. It was probably like a good 100 yards or so to some other reserve that they had to pump stuff in there. And this octopus had shrunk itself down to the diameter of this PVC pipe and had shoved its way through halfway of this 100 yards or whatever. And it had shoved/swam itself halfway through this huge length of PVC pipe while it was this 2 inches in diameter because it could fit itself. And it decided, I want out of this big pool. I want to be in PVC pipe now. And I think that's so cool. Out? I don't know what they did. They probably just kind of cut the PVC pipe where the octopus wasn't and just kind of got it out and probably replaced the PVC pipe or something like that.
That's insane.
But it's just such a cool feature to have this something inside of you, and that is just your limit of shrinkage at like 2 inches in diameter. Like, yeah, that's just so interesting to me.
Octopuses are really cool.
I think they're very cool.
Can they also be outside? Like, I know in Finding Dory, like Hank the octopus, or the septopus rather, right? He can like be outside of water and like walk around. I don't know how movie accurate that is. Like, is that like real life accurate? Can they just be outside of water, like walk around and stuff?
I don't think for very long. I think most sea creatures can be outside of water and live for a good time. Obviously, fish are kind of almost dead on arrival once they come out of water. Not dead on arrival, but they can't survive there for long. I think an octopus can survive longer than a fish can out of water, but I don't think it's very long.
And octopuses are like so alien looking too. Like,
they do look like they're not from this planet.
Like, there's nothing that looks like them
at all. Nothing.
At all.
I mean, besides squids, but
right. But they're probably in the same family.
Yeah, they're the same family.
Like, and you know, that's so weird
looking. I have hope that one day any animal that we know of now is going to be trumped as our favorite animal by just some crazy cool things they find towards the bottom of the ocean. Or like as we get deeper, they're going to just find some crazy crap that lives. Because you have to think that there are just so many species of animals down towards the deepest depths of the ocean that can survive the pressure down there, which means their skeleton is probably super cool looking.
Yeah.
And can see with how dark it is down there, which means their brains are probably really cool and their eyes probably have some weird features to them.
Yeah.
There's got to be some stuff down there that is just absolutely insane looking that I want to be my favorite animal. I just don't know what it is.
It's almost like terrifying how deep the ocean is.
It's because Marianas Trench is the deepest part of the ocean. How far down is that?
It's bigger than Everest. I know that.
Yeah, so, and Everest is 29,000-ish feet. So something deeper than 29,000 feet.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Like if you tipped Everest over into Marianas Trench, it doesn't reach the bottom.
So yeah, I guess so. The deepest part is then like,
let's Google it.
6 miles down ish. If we're assuming a little over like somewhere in the 30,000s, because I think a mile is.
Do you want to take a bet?
Sure, I think a mile is 5,280 feet. So if we're saying this is bigger than Everest, if you flipped it over, then it's probably somewhere in the mid 30,000s feet, if not more than that. So I'm just gonna call it a cool 40,000.
So, how many miles deep is this part of the ocean? 7 miles. So around
7 miles. So that's about 35,000.
Yeah. 35,000 feet. And we have not. Marianas Trench.
We've certainly not been there.
No, we have not even been close.
I just want to know, because there is something down there that is just like, the coolest looking thing on the planet,
like and volcanoes are down there,
and they haven't been appreciated yet.
Yeah.
I want to appreciate them.
I want to appreciate you, deep sea creatures. Deep sea creatures, if you're listening to this podcast, we appreciate you. And give an octopus a high five for us.
Make yourself known. This is your opportunity to come forth.
I wonder like if there's anything big down there, because
there has to be.
most everything is like big. It's like up towards the surface and like between like 7,000 feet and the surface of the ocean. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I wonder what's like all the way down there that's like big, because there's obviously small things down there.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Little fish and.
I bet there's some huge things down there. I bet.
That's crazy.
What if? Let's entertain this idea for a while.
Mm-hmm.
What if at the deepest depths, or depths that we haven't been to, there exists a creature that is in fact larger than the blue whale?
Well, if my limited knowledge of the ocean serves me, the deepest parts of the ocean, like at 35,000 feet, they don't span miles.
No, for sure. But they're even depths of just regular
Right.
oceans.
Yeah.
At a certain depth, we can't go past that because of the pressure. But there is so much more below to get to the floor, and that part alone also expands for a very long way.
I don't think there's anything bigger than a blue whale down there. I have to believe that if it was big enough, it has to eat something. And if there are things that are down there that are bigger than the blue whale that eat, let's just say krill, like the same diet as blue whale, like something really small, I don't think there are many things down there that can live to support a being of that size.
Maybe there is, at those deepest depths, there is only one creature that is larger in size than the blue whale.
Just one.
And it is king. It is lord of all sea creatures. And
I will be ocean master.
the other sea creatures bring it offerings and or themselves in sacrifice to appease the lord of the ocean.
It's just,
and they have a hierarchy down there, sort of like in How to Train Your Dragon, just that one big old boy that gets fed by all the other dragons, something of that nature, but in sea form.
That would be dope. Like just one big old kingfish.
Honestly, I'm trying to imagine what that would look like.
Well, it would look black. You can't see anything down there. That's the part that trips me out. Is like there's things out there that they can see down there,
right? But
there's no light, none. It looks like space. There's no light unless you bring a light down there. So if there's something down there that's bigger than a blue whale, which is like 300 feet in length, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we are under the assumption, because we've never been down there and we don't understand what's down there. I'm going to say that there is a possibility that there is a light source that can exist in these depths that we just have no ability to get to or image because of how far away we are vertically.
Okay, so what do you think it could be besides literal volcanoes? Because we've been to the ocean floor thousands of feet down with like a submarine, like that's the unmanned submarine.
Right.
Like we haven't been obviously 35,000 feet yet, but we've been like, I don't know, 10,000 feet.
I don't think we've been that deep.
Really?
No, I think
not us. I'm not humans. I'm saying like.
I know. I don't think anything has been that deep. I don't know what the depth is that the pressure is too much to withstand for all these, submarines and any metallic material. But I don't think we've even gotten to 10,000 feet.
Wow.
As far as I'm aware. But even if we have.
But I don't understand how a light source can, like light is. Like there has to be like something emanating that light. What could that besides a life form that like has a chemical reaction in its skin to emanate light? What could be down there that we can't see?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. There are possibly materials down there that we've never seen or experienced or discovered in the ocean that we can see or on dry land. Like you could have elements down there that aren't part of the periodic table that do these things that we have no idea. Or just you could have organisms that produce light within themselves, like things like what the heck are they? Anglerfish?
Yeah.
That kind of have a little light just on them. I think something like that could exist off of a moving organism that just kind of, rests on I'll call it a coral reef for lack of a better term.
Right.
But like imagine if there was just something coral reef-esque that had this element that I don't know what it is. It doesn't exist, but maybe that it produces light itself. And then, so it's just kind of like this central light source that this big old community of water species built itself around that we just can't get to or see.
So like the sun's above us, and then the atmosphere, and then the ocean, and then like 2,000 feet down is just blue water. and then for another 20,000 feet, it's black. And then on the very bottom of the ocean floor, which is not the very bottom of like 80% of the ocean floor, but like just in the specific spot, there's a coral reef, for lack of a better word. We're just using our imagination here. That reacts chemically with probably like some magma or like some junk or probably some poop or something.
Of course.
And probably some plastic, honestly, that we've thrown in the ocean. It's just sunk all the way down to the bottom and can create a life force so that a kingfish that's bigger than a blue whale can live down there and commune. Did we just invent Atlantis?
This is the world I choose to believe exists.
That's a really entertaining thought. The ocean's like space.
I feel like we have explored more of space than we have of the ocean.
Probably. It's probably a little bit easier to see in space, so you're taking pictures and stuff. Space boggles my mind too, but we're not going to get into space.
Space boggles my mind.
It's going to be a different podcast.
We're in space. Is that a weird thing that ever occurs in your brain?
Don't say that. No, we're not.
Is that a weird thing that ever happens in your brain?
Yes.
Because I think about it sometimes. I'm like, okay, zoom out of Earth. Earth is a part of big space. We're in space.
Yeah.
That alone boggles my mind.
Like a meteor can come and just like nay anytime.
Literally anytime at once. And they just have kind of been nice to us so far. Just not the dinosaurs.
Like chance has been on our side for like billions of years. For why? For why? Why has it been so nice to us?
So that we could revive dead companies in the stock market and stick it to the man. The meteors knew this day would come.
Right.
This is the sign of end times. We're approaching, Jacob. You better get right, or get left.
We need to get to the bottom of the ocean before the Earth explodes.
Well, when is the Earth going to explode?
I don't know, but we need to do it before the Earth. Time is of the essence.
We as in humanity, or we as in you and I?
Either or. I'm cool with either or. If someone else does it, cool. That saves us a lot of time to do other things. But if we have to do it, I'm cool with it.
I want to do it. I want to go meet King Lordfish.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Terry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go King Lordfish Terry.
King Lordfish Terry, we sacrifice to you. We bring you a great white shark.
We're just gonna be tugging along a great white shark
on a leash. We give you our great white shark as a present. Please do not eat us.
Do you think the megalodon is a real thing?
Probably. Sharks don't stop growing. They just kind of like get killed.
They just kind of die.
Yeah. So same with like alligators. Like see these like 20 feet alligators all the time. They don't stop growing. They just die. They get killed by something, or they choke themselves, or they starve to death. But they don't stop growing. So yeah, megalodon probably existed somewhere sometime. Same with like, Moby Dick or these big massive whales or whatever. And they probably existed, and they just, got impaled by a ship or whatever. I don't know.
Whales are cool too. Whales are just so cool.
They're just big. I like big things too.
That's why they're cool.
I think
because their hearts are the size of what, like a school bus? Isn't that the?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Why'd they name the sperm whale like that?
I don't know, dude. I don't have the answers to all the whale questions.
Beluga whales? They're so cool looking.
Why are they called beluga whales? We need to investigate the names of all animals. That's what we need to do. And rename them. That's exactly what we should do. All right.
Future podcast episode.
No, we're doing it right now.
Okay, cool.
Beluga whale. What is its new name?
Terry 1. No. What if the creature on the bottom of the ocean is just a big old beluga whale? Like he's just big, and his head's like even more like bulbous than all the other ones.
And like half of its body is kind of buried into the ground, and it's just big bulbous head just protruding out of the ground, waiting for sacrifices.
He's just like, okay, beluga whale. What should we rename the beluga whale?
I don't know, because those are the ones that kind of have that flat head, right?
The big old bulbous head, like the big old one, and they have like a little. They're white, like very white.
The white. It's like bulbous head, but like their faces themselves are kind of flatten out, right?
Like they have like a little pokey nose.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Pokey nose.
Poconos.
That's what they are.
Poconos.
But now we have to rename the mountains. They can't be the Poconos anymore because the Poconos whale is more important.
Right. Poconos whale. The mountains are renamed
the Beluga Mountains. We're switching them.
Beluga Mountains. Yes, that's perfect.
We're
my parents honeymooned. They literally did in the Beluga Mountains.
In the Beluga Mountains.
Anytime they mention it, I thought it was the Beluga Mountains.
I think you mean the Beluga Mountains. They just renamed them, actually.
The Beluga Mountains. The Federation of Renaming Things. We should make that a segment. We should just rename some stuff.
Renaming everything.
Dude, yes, that's such a good idea. I gotta write that. We'll it's recorded now, so we won't forget.
Yeah, we wrote it down with our voices.
All right, pick another animal. Let's rename it.
Tiger.
Tiger.
I have faith in you.
Fierce zebra.
Fierce zebra. So we're keeping zebra the same. Zebras can stay.
But I'm not. See, I don't want this to be a first thing basis. So I don't want the first thing we come up with to be like, the name of it. Like I want us to workshop it a little bit.
Okay.
So I was kind of like on a train that was kind of chugging through, and fierce zebra came out of nowhere. I was okay, because zebras are striped, tigers are striped. So like, fierce zebra.
Well, where did the names themselves originate in the first place? Because I don't know a Latin root inside of the word tiger to make it make sense to me.
They're probably, for those animals, like probably in Africa, they probably have African words that are, or tigers aren't really from Africa, they're from Asia.
Mm-hmm.
But like the words that we associate with them, like probably was when people from Britain went down there to conquest Africa, and they're like, "What's that?" And they said, "Lion," and that's probably what the name we gave them, or they gave them, because they probably named it. So tiger is now.
I'm okay with fierce zebra if you are.
Okay, well,
we can revisit.
We can put a pin in it.
All right.
Fierce zebra.
All right. Give me one more animal.
Octopus. So octopus is a very simple name, right? Octo meaning 8, puss meaning ew. So 8 ew.
The ewy 8.
The ewy 8. We should just call it 8.
We just call it 8.
Octopus is now 8. Oh man. We need to make this a part of every podcast.
Okay.
Because we came up with the best name ever for a podcast, Milk and Screams.
We did.
So we can just rename everything.
We can rename everything. I'm very proud of the Beluga Mountains and the Poconos Whale.
That's so funny. All right. So now we move on to what I assume will be the main topic of discussion of the podcast.
Possibly. And we've already been going for a while. So this may not even be the main part. This may just be our end card.
Yeah, end card. Okay, I'm cool with that. We had this discussion a while back. I think it was even before the podcast was a thing.
Oh, very much so. Yeah. I think we had it probably in like September or October.
Yeah.
Probably.
Kyle is under the assumption.
Correctly.
Under the assumption. Note the words that are coming out of my mouth. Assumption doesn't mean you're correct.
Yeah, but note the words that I'm superimposing in your sentence. Correctly. I am correctly under the assumption.
Are you done?
Correctly. Now I'm done.
That we as humans can't fight animals. Is that right?
I believe that if you were put up against any wild animal, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, if in this instance you are given nothing and your mindset is kill animal, and the animal is given nothing and its mindset is kill human, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, you will lose that fight to most any wild animal.
What if human...
Within reason. Obviously, you're not going to lose to a grasshopper.
What if human is given stick?
If human is given stick...
Because that's kind of the assumption I'm under. Obviously, knives, guns, machetes, those kinds of things kind of render animals useless. You can mow through most animals. Even some animals are able to overcome that, right? But stick, I think, gives... Because we've fought animals with sticks for hundreds of years. And I'll even give it a blunt stick, not a sharp stick, right?
Okay.
Is that an okay...
Is this a stick as in, like, length of bow staff? Or is this, like, kind of daggerish length stick that we're assuming isn't going to break? We can't assume that. It might break during the fight.
I'm going to say oak. A very sturdy oak branch that's approximately 3 feet in length. Not bow staff where it's like 6 feet where you can keep the animal at bay, but a fair, wield, if it bangs up against a turtle, it might break the stick.
Okay.
But it'll definitely knock some blows into a wolf or something like that.
Yeah. So again, we'll put the stick in for now. I think that does throw a wrench in kind of my overarching theme here.
Mm-hmm.
But my overarching theme is barehanded man,
Okay.
bare-pawed animal. Put them up against each other where both of their mindsets is kill opponent. The animal will win 9 times out of 10. Again, within reason.
So I think there's a small list of animals that I can definitely open a can of whoop-ass on.
Real quick, give me just an animal that you think you would, in fact, stand a chance against.
Duck.
Okay. Obviously, most likely, you'll win against a duck.
Okay. So, and I've put most birds in that category. The hardest one I think to win against would be like a hunting bird, like a carnivorous bird.
I was gonna say you can't put most birds in that category.
You didn't let me finish, so
I'm disagreeing with your sentiment so far.
Like, let's put the pure-dreaming falcon against me, the fastest animal on Earth, right? What kind of parameters are we giving? Like, is it able to fly up a couple hundred feet in the air and swoop down on me at 200 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. So pure-dreaming falcon is, like I said, if I have stick, it's. And the thing is, too, I don't think the animal is going to think, okay, I have to fly this high up and then swoop down to beat this person. I don't think that's what is. I don't want to assume the animal is dumb, but it kind of is. Also, side note, we are not advocating for the violence of humans against animals.
No.
We love animals. As for the first part of this podcast, will clearly dictate. We love animals. But it's been a entertaining, like a thought provoking conversation that we've had, which we very staunchly disagree upon.
We do.
Pure-dreaming falcon might be one of the harder ones to beat. I do think 10 times out of 10 is too generous to the falcon.
No, I think falcon, eagle.
I would definitely kill an eagle. You
would lose to an eagle every single time.
You're so
You
wrong.
would lose to an eagle every single time, without question. Without question.
I don't understand why you think this.
Why wouldn't I think that? Eagles are absolutely ginormous, and they have these 8-inch talons that the second it flies at you, you move once, it turns around and just digs its talons into any portion of your body, and you are now incapacitated.
I think you're also forgetting who is now at the top of the food chain. Like, if this was the case, we would be dead thousands of years ago.
No, because eagles and humans are not natural enemies. One is not a natural predator to the other, so we've had no reason to have a war with eagles. The only reason we wouldn't be at the top is if any of these animals we're considering were our natural predators, and we didn't have any sort of technology ever.
Right. Well, there was a period where we didn't have modern technology, which is why I was thinking like the stick. A blunt stick, not a sharp spear or anything like that, is a fair, use. It's within fair use because we had thousands of years where we didn't have tools. We had to defend ourselves somehow. Otherwise, we got eaten.
And in all of those years, a whole lot of people did get eaten, which is why the whole mindset of all these civilizations was not kill all these different animals because we want to. It was stay away from them as much as possible, kill when necessary, for warmth if you have the ability. But as soon as you go on that hunt, people are going to die. And that's how it always was.
Well, okay. I still think that birds are just, it's ridiculous that you think I can't beat a bird up.
No,
but
I would lose to, every single human would lose to an eagle or a falcon. You're not going to lose to a duck, but you're going to lose to an eagle or a falcon and probably a vulture.
Vultures are scavengers. They're not like, I don't understand what you mean. Like, we have arms. Like, we're not just standing there like, come get me. Like, you know what I mean? It's a fight. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to mammals. Okay.
Okay.
I believe if you're giving me this stick, right, against one animal, not a pack, not a, I think most animals that are below the size of the average man are easily defeated.
No. No.
Okay. Let's use an example of like a non-domesticated dog. Like coyote. I think wolves are a little too big. I think wolves are bigger than you think normally, and they're fast. But again, it's just one of them. It's not like you're fighting 9 of them. If you're fighting 9 of them against one, you're definitely going to lose. If you have stick, like one thing that a wolf can do is jump at you or lunge at you. As long as you're careful and you swing fast enough, you can knock a wolf out in one blow.
No, you can't. Wolves are way tougher than, especially with this tiny stick that you're giving yourself.
It's not a tiny stick.
Either way, because the whole crux of this whole thing was not having a stick. But I'm going to give you the stick anyway.
Sure, give me the stick.
You are not knocking a wolf out with one blow. Ever. Not on the biggest swing of your life are you knocking a wolf out in one blow. That is crazy talk. And you're overestimating your own strength over the coyote's strength.
Okay, let's pull me out of the equation. I guess
lunging and be careful. These things are fast as crap. The second you move, it is already turned around and started lunging again. These things are fast and can turn on the dime. They're way faster than you. They are stronger than you. In almost every muscle that they have, pound for pound, it is stronger than a human. Their teeth are 3 inches long, and the second it nabs a hold of any single part of your body, that part of your body is incapacitated.
This is 3 inches long, just about. There's no wolf. I'm holding a roll of tape. Okay, just for you people who are listening auditory wise, which is everyone. There's no wolf on Earth that has teeth that are this long.
Call it 1 inch. Call it 1.5 inch.
1 inch, sure.
They're crazy sharp, and the second it bites any part of your body, it bites your arm, you're not doing anything else with that arm.
There are people who have killed wolves with their hands, Kyle.
I know, and those are people that most of the time know what they're doing because they have gone to classes and have been trained to encounter wildlife. That is not us. You put a wolf up against one of those people, they have more of a chance. I'm going to give them I'll say probably 4 out of 10 times that person will win, if not more. You and I, we lose 10 out of 10 times.
Kyle, I've watched Bear Grylls once.
Woohoo! You know how to drink your own pee. That's all you have now.
No, I think you're giving the wolves too much credit.
No, I think you're underestimating them. Wolves are way stronger than us pound for pound.
Coyotes, then. Let's choose a much smaller version of that animal. Coyote.
I think a coyote you definitely have a better chance against. I still think you'll probably lose 7 out of 10 times.
That's
maybe
insane,
8.
Kyle.
You underestimate these animals. Again, we're assuming their mindset is this is my enemy right now. I am going to kill this thing. This thing being you.
Right.
You're gonna die a majority of the time, if not all of the time, depending on the animal. Animals are crazy.
I'm crazy.
Animals are absolutely insane. And given the option, given the brain capacity to say, this is my enemy to kill, you're going to die.
I don't agree with you.
Even a squirrel would beat you a majority of the time.
Kyle, you
Not
are
10 out of 10.
out of your mind.
A squirrel would kill you a majority of the time.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
You're a liar.
A squirrel would beat you.
No.
A squirrel would beat me.
No.
I would win more times against a squirrel than you would, but a squirrel would win.
You had to go there. No, it's not true. Not true at all. No. Squirrels are fast. Squirrels are nimble. Squirrels have little claws and little teeth.
Thank you for proving my point.
They are not nearly as fast or as quick or as nimble as a full-grown human adult man.
You are so much slower than a squirrel. Are you kidding me? Squirrels are so incredibly faster than you.
Dude.
Have you ever seen a squirrel move? Have you seen a squirrel before?
Yes.
Have you seen them turn around and run on trees?
They're right outside our house.
They are so much faster than you. They are not less nimble than a full-grown man.
You just grab a squirrel and then you just kill it. It's not hard.
They are so much faster than you. You're not even going to be able to get to grab it.
Dude, we used to chase squirrels and grab squirrels when we were kids. That's what we used to do.
Again, this squirrel wasn't trying to kill you. They were trying to get away from you.
Well, don't you think? Okay, so if a squirrel, which is so much smaller than we are, right? if they see me charging at it, do you think they would try to run away? Like if I was up against a bear, I wouldn't charge at the bear. I would try and think, okay, how am I going to corner it? Or how am I going to get away from it? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. In this instance, we're saying squirrel brain, kill you, not run away if you attack. Squirrel brain, kill you. I don't care what you do. Kill. Kill, 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 kill. There's no part of this squirrel's brain that is saying, oh, he charged and now I'm scared and must run away. Every part of the brain is saying kill, kill, kill. Every part of your brain is saying kill, kill, kill. That's the scenario we're putting here. We're not putting real squirrel brain scenario. We're putting it wants to kill you and you want to kill it, and that is it.
No, I don't agree with you.
You're losing to a squirrel. I promise. we can test it if you want.
Yeah, let's test it. Let's do it. I don't know. No, because that sets a ramification. Again, we're not actually wanting to hurt animals. Kyle's just a little irritated.
I just want to hurt Jacob. The squirrel is going to be completely fine. I don't want to hurt animals. I will do all of these fights in proof that I don't want to hurt animals because the animals are going to win every single time. I will gladly make these fights happen.
Why are you being so mean to me? Why do you want humans to fail?
Because humans suck. Humans are the worst animal on the planet.
Clearly they're not, Kyle.
All we talk about is how much we hate people.
Well,
and now
right.
in this instance, we're going to talk about how much we love people.
No, but we're obviously not the worst animals on the earth. Look at our brains. Our brains are the sole reason why we're even able to be here right now and speak language. Squirrels can't speak language.
To each other, they can.
We just go.
We
should do a compilation of all the sounds I made in this podcast, all the animal sounds. Side note: Courtney just dyed her hair.
Did she actually? I love it.
Dude.
I love it.
What the frick?
Courtney's the best, dude.
Jesus. Okay. Just come back in.
We're back.
Yeah.
Sorry. The little audio cut out there. My computer was about to die. And that's how we're recording this.
That's how we're recording this. So, in conclusion.
What was I saying? Oh, we're the worst and animals will beat us.
No. I think our brains are big enough. I think that's part of our advantage that you're not accounting for.
Our brains are big. Sure, our brains are big. Who cares? Who cares?
I legitimately think that that's what gives us the advantage over animals. Most animals, I mean, or some animals. Like you said, a squirrel. Like, dude, there's no way.
A squirrel beats you.
No.
Not every time, but a squirrel will beat you a majority of the time.
Okay, so let's look at how will the squirrel kill me, right? So, kill me. We're talking about killing here, right?
Uh-huh.
So, how would it get access to my either brain to knock my brain out, right? To to puncture my skull. It's not going to puncture my skull.
Nope.
That's not happening. Okay? My heart. How will it stop my heart? Will it, dig into my chest long enough to get to my heart and rip it out? Very unlikely.
As long as it just incapacitates you and then you bleed out.
Okay, how will it incapacitate me?
A squirrel will get. Let's say you start on. Imagine a boxing ring.
Yeah.
Okay. You're in one
I'm with
corner.
you.
Squirrel is in the other corner.
I have stick.
Bell dings.
Ding.
Within, I would say, 4 seconds.
You're so.
You're not going to lose in 4 seconds.
Okay.
Within 4 seconds, the squirrel. You both will have charged at each other. Within that 4 seconds, because squirrels are freaking fast, it will have already run up to you and climbed up your body, and be at your eyes, and just have been clawing at them.
So if it's in my face already, my hands are already up here ripping it off my face. It's not. I understand it's your scenario where it's like the squirrel doesn't have instinct like, oh look, a nut. Like it's one intention is to kill me, and it's one intention. I understand that, but I'm not just standing there. I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my own life. So in my eyes, right, rip squirrel off face, throw it, stomp on it. Like, get it off my face. Because squirrels have attacked people before. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, they're not dead. They're not. Someone was there to help them, or, they ripped it off their face, or whatever.
And these squirrels were not of volition of attack. It was defend my home. It was not kill, kill, kill. It was get rid of nuisance. In this instance, it's kill, kill, kill. That's what you're not accounting for. As you're pulling these real-world examples where that person lived, that's because the animal wasn't trying to kill. It was get away from me, please. Stop, get rid of nuisance and make them upset. In this instance, it is, hey, I'm going to make that thing's heart not do the thing it's supposed to do.
So, What? I'm incapacitated and then I bleed out? Is that your?
That's literally like as soon as it rips out your eyes, then what do you do? Because I promise you get the squirrel off of you, and then it bites your hand, and jolt of my hand hurts now, and you let go of the squirrel, and it goes back forward again, and now you can't grip with this hand because it just bit into your tendons in your hand. You lose to a squirrel.
What about beaver?
I don't really know much about beavers. I'm gonna assume that we could probably take a beaver a majority of the time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say beavers are beatable. I'll give us beavers.
We're definitely not beating. What's it called?
Terry.
Not Terry. What was I thinking of? What is it called? It's like this. It's a badger, honey badger. We're not beating a honey badger.
Not beating a honey badger.
No way.
Absolutely not.
Honey badger don't care. What do you think would be a fair fight?
What I think would be the fairest fight.
Okay, let's first of all throw every single primate out of the equation because primates will beat us a lot of the time.
They will beat us.
If you're talking about big teeth, that's a chimpanzee's tooth right there. So
primates would beat us 10 out of 10 times.
I think so too. I think that's a fair assessment because of just like the raw strength that we don't possess.
What would be a fair fight? And I guess we've kind of honed in on the land animals because we don't really have the ability to fight in water.
No,
so
they don't have the ability to fight in land. So no.
Yeah, so this is really just a land animal type of thing. What would be a fair fight? I think certain types of snakes could be a fair fight.
They have no arms.
I think it'd be a fair fight.
You just kick it and then you stomp on it.
I think we would beat most snakes a majority of the time, but some of the very large ones I think could be a fair fight.
Well, like
because I mean we don't really have a way for the like larger ones. Let's say you're up against like a
python,
like let's say like a 15-foot python,
right?
Right? Their skin and their muscles are very tough.
Yeah.
And for something that big, we don't really possess the strength to strangle it.
It'll strangle us before we get
it. And we don't really possess the strength to rip its head off, which is how you need to kill a snake. And we don't really have the strength to get it in half at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we would just kind of have to somehow get into submission and I guess suffocate the thing. And while we're trying to get into submission, it has the rest of its body to try and manipulate the rest of us.
I think we would lose to a python.
I think
most smaller snakes, I think we have that aren't venomous, we have a better chance against.
I think we would lose to a python a majority of the time, but I think it would be a good and fair fight.
I think
only because it doesn't have arms.
But a python, it has so much more body than us. It's when you stand it up, tail to head, it's 15 feet versus 6 feet. So it has that much more. Like I've seen people try and fight pythons, and they will most definitely lose.
Yeah,
it'll suffocate us. So
I guess the smaller end of python might be a fair fight, but
like a 6-foot python,
maybe that would be a fair fight.
Or like any garden snake or like smaller snakes. Like I think we'd have a better chance against.
Yeah, I would say probably the fairest of fights that I can think of right now would be like a 6-foot python, or maybe 5 feet. That would be a pretty fair fight, I think. I don't know if we stand a chance against most mammals.
Let me think of one.
Most mammals are gonna kick our butts. Even house cats. If they were just solely bent on just killing you, we would win some of the time. But the cat would win some of the time too. That's it. I don't even house cats I don't think we stand a chance against.
What about like an otter?
Well, otters are predators.
They're much smaller too.
If I was in a fight with an otter though, I don't know if I could bring myself to try and kill it. They're just so cute.
The one thing on your mind is kill it now.
I think maybe we stand a chance against most likely we would have the upper hand most of the time against an otter because they're not that fast on land.
No.
They're great swimmers, but they're not that fast on land.
And they have little teeth, but like they can't jump very hard or like
Right.
anything like that. Like a lemur.
A lemur would be interesting.
It's kind of like
It's a glorified squirrel.
or like a lemur is kind of like a isn't it a primate? A lemur?
I don't think so. I don't know much about lemur. Maybe they are. They're kind
lemurs
of
eat fruit.
monkey-ish.
They eat fruit, so like they would. What do you think? What do you think the size of monkey is that we could beat?
That we could beat.
Like, okay, obviously I'm cutting out like chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas.
Right.
You know, those things are just too big, and they could easily overtake us with the strength of their bodies.
Baboons would destroy us.
Right. Oh yeah, dude, those things are scary looking.
Baboons would absolutely destroy
Their
us.
butts are just so crazy.
Probably like a child monkey or like a teenage monkey. Probably not even teenage. Teenage monkeys though are typically pretty developed and know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be like a child monkey.
Like a little baby monkey. You just kick it.
I don't want to talk about that. I just think most wild animals would just destroy us.
I'm trying to think of another mammal.
So far I think that this 5-foot python would be the fairest fight. Because in both cases, we're going to kind of be looking to suffocate the other. Because they can certainly bite us with their fangs. But a lot of times with snake bites, it doesn't draw that much blood. It just stings a whole lot. Sometimes they do, depending on the size of the fangs. And depending on where they bite you, it could be fatal. But like they definitely have the chance to get to your neck. But I think the snake is probably one of the easiest animals to
get the first hit on.
To get the first hit on and to stop its teeth from getting to a vital spot. Because they could sure move fast, but it has to like slither up your body and you have the whole rest of its body to grab and pull away from.
Yep.
Whereas a squirrel is so small, it gets up there immediately. I'm going to say a 5-foot python is the best 50-50 fight against human. Average human.
What about
I'm waiting. Come on.
I'm trying to think of something, and I wanted to end on like a good note for the humans, because
no matter what you say, it's not going to end on a good note for the humans because we're going to lose. Humans, if you're listening, don't pick a fight with a wild animal. Any of them.
And watch a seal video.
Watch a seal video if you're sad. GameStop to the moon.
And squirrels, if you're listening, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. So I know you have a secret society, and I'm here to topple it.
Join us as we go to the depths of the ocean whenever we take our trip, so we can go meet Terry
and Pokinos.
And we're gonna go say hello to all the Pokinos and take a trip to the Beluga Mountains.
The Beluga Mountains.
I'm very happy with the Beluga Mountains.
That's actually a really good name.
I want a picture of the Poconos, and I want to like make my own greeting card that says "Greetings from the Beluga Mountains" and send it to all my family, so they just are generally confused of what I'm talking about.
So we need to come up with a segment name for every podcast where we just rename something. And honestly, maybe whenever we get like more like people watching the podcast, they can suggest things that we can rename.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. And I think this segment, we need to give it a new name every episode. And we have to rename it every episode.
Kyle, this is why me and you work well together.
This
episode, it's called Terry.
That's all I'm gonna name this episode.
Welcome to Terry. And then next episode we're gonna have a few more things to rename, and we'll call it a different segment.
We'll call it something else.
Cool. So this is episode 10, so you have to be here for that episode to understand what the segment is.
Yeah, we're gonna have to improvise the name on the spot.
Cool. I'm down for that. That's actually a lot of fun.
All right.
Thank you guys for joining us for 10 episodes. It's been a lot of fun. We love you. Watch a seal video, and we'll see you
Watch
guys.
a seal video. Seriously, I want to stress that a little bit more before we say goodbye.
TikTok is great for it. They have like a couple aquariums that have like these wonderful seals.
Jake, like he said, Jacob's been on this kind of seal craze, and I'm here for it.
It's great.
They're great videos. Go watch a seal video. I'm going to say it again.
Great. Love you guys. See you next week. Bye.
Love you. Mwah.